Rasa the Dancer is a professional salsa and bachata dancer, teacher, and performer. She is Rasa the Dancer. She is a fantastic YouTube personality and hosts an educational dance channel as well called Dance with Rasa, as well as her treasure trove of a website, dancewithrasa.com. Rasa is a student favorite of so many events, both here in the UK and beyond. Welcome to Empowered Dancers, Rasa.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Rasa, could you start us off by telling us what lit that fire for dance in you?
I danced since I was 4 years old. I don't think it's an easy answer because it wasn't like a moment, like I want to be a dancer. I never particularly thought about it. When I was 4 years old, my mother put me in ballroom classes because she thought I was getting chubby and she was afraid I would get fat. So she put me in dancing classes so I could have some, movement through the days so I would, not be fat. And little did she know that many years later I will become a dancer. Joke's on you, mama. so, so that's how it started. But when I was doing ballroom, I loved it very much and I love dancing. But I guess it wasn't my thing. And I wasn't particularly good at it. And the teacher said that I should quit. And this is a long story. Then I quit. I had 5 years break. While I had the 5 years break, I was like, super depressed and I missed dancing very much, and then I came to UK and then I found salsa and then I promised myself I never stop dancing again, and the love reignited.
Beautiful. And since then you've built up such a beautiful online space as well. Your Dance with Rasa is it's filled with not just dancing and showing dance moves, but it's aiming to inspire and motivate people as well.
Sure, I would like to take credit for the ideas of my videos that they are to inspire people, but they're really not. The videos are reflection of who I am and what I think is important. So in the dancing community, and by default, some people get inspired, and of course that is the most amazing, rewarding thing ever. But I never ever make a video to inspire anybody. I don't think I hold the qualifications for inspirations. I think sometimes you get inspired by random people for no reason, so it doesn't have to be somebody who's amazing that actually gives us an inspiration. But the videos are there because I believe there's certain things in the dance community are important, certain things are not talked about that are important for people to know. Certain things that the way they're approached is what I believe is not nice as well, too dry, so I like to make it fun for people to learn easier. I also like to entertain myself. I'm an only child, so when the camera is in front of me, I actually have a lot of fun with myself. And then if other people enjoy watching it and laugh as well, it makes me happy. So it's actually quite selfish development that became very inclusive.
Hmm. That's wonderful though. It's great that that happened.
Yes, like you are brave enough for a second to show who you are and what you think, and you're like, maybe somebody thinks the same way.
Hmm.
And little by little, you're getting a little saying, yeah, I do. Oh, this is nice, and you're
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, so this is good. Who I am and what I think, oh, it's validated.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like actually standing up and saying
exactly.
this is who I am and what I think. It is quite a scary thing to do. But it shows people when you show up as yourself, it's real. And when it's real, it makes all the difference.
And you know what I truly believe? I truly believe in general, unless you evil, if you are yourself, you will be accepted. Not necessarily agreed with all the time. But people will still watch you and kind of be interested in what you have to say.
Hmm.
If they
Hmm.
don't agree, then they're just fascinated. And if
Yeah.
they agree, you're validating their thoughts. So either way, you're gonna be okay. It's when somebody is a little bit, where they're not sure who they are or they're pretending to be something, so then people start catching and feeling that vibe, and then it's not cool.
Mm.
Or if you're generally evil, like if there's something there inside that and you're not a good person, then that's also the case. But if you're a good person in general and you're just speaking the truth and you're being respectful, you're talking in a nice, kind manner. Not everybody's going to agree, but they're going to be still supporting you, I think.
Mm. Yeah. And I hope that continues because no one's ever going to agree with one person all the time. That's impossible.
100%.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you talk about in your online space that you think aren't talked about enough in the dancing space?
I think in general about the etiquette,
Hmm.
about how important it is to know certain things of how to behave on a dance floor because we're surrounded with people and we
Yeah.
dance in an intimate way. We hold each other quite close in a lot of the cases. So etiquette, I think, is a huge thing.
Mm.
It's not that it's not talked about; it's just not talked about enough or everywhere.
This is it. It's not talked about enough.
No,
Yes.
we're not saying that everybody's not, nobody's doing it or something. We're just saying a lot of places not doing it, and the scene is growing exponentially,
Yes.
and classes are really big, and it's not talked about enough or at the right moments. So
Yeah.
etiquette is one of the things. What else? Things about how basic things like communication with your teachers, what to expect from classes, what are you allowed to ask questions, or what kind of questions are okay and not okay, what are you allowed to demand from the teacher and what is like too much, and
Okay.
there's so many things that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with dancing, and then
Yeah.
of course we touch on the dancing itself, but
But it's part of dancing.
it's the
Yeah.
culture.
Definitely. Yeah. The culture. That's a good way to bring it all together. So what are some things you think that maybe people don't realize are okay to ask of your teacher, and even something that's not okay, that is not appropriate to bring to a dance lesson?
Dance lesson, I think anything is okay.
Okay.
Anything is okay. The only thing that is that I tell my people off, and I actually not tell them off, but I prepare them before they ask a question. If you come to a higher level class and you ask me a question that is supposed to be from a lower level, I will be recommending you after the class to go down a level.
Yeah.
You can have those questions, but not in a class. Because the class, if you are brave enough to join the advanced class, then you either shut it and you swim really hard and try to catch up, or you go down to where you belong. You don't stop the class and other people already know this for 2 or 3 years, and then I have to explain this. So
Hmm.
that kind of thing I will, in a nice way, mention something, brush it off, and then take person after the class and say, listen, if you need some more information, we can talk about it afterwards if you want, but this is an advanced class and you're supposed to know these things. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But besides anything,
But you know what? I think that is important because um there's this race to progress sometimes in people's mindsets to get to the next level, or to join the highest class possible if they've been dancing X number of years or their friends are in that class. And there's nothing wrong with being in not the top class. Going to where you will thrive is the best place to go. And it's this kind of status of being in the top classes. But for what though? It's just we're not any different for being different levels of dancers. We're all dancers.
100%. And I always say you don't actually learn anything in advanced class anymore. You just learn new moves.
Okay,
But
yeah.
you learn new moves in the intermediate, one level below. You're still learning new moves, but you're actually learning still techniques and different things, and that are actually useful tools. In
Mm,
advanced, nobody explains technique anymore.
yeah.
You just do crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's an expectation that you
So
have all of those former
I
levels.
don't even go to advanced classes
Okay.
myself.
Yeah.
When I go to congresses, I usually go intermediate and pro. I go even to sometimes to beginners, but if it's like a body movement, the idea of practicing something that I'm not good at or not my forte or whatever, I
Yeah.
don't even go to advanced classes. Unless it's some sort of footwork routine where I will be working my brain and trying to memorize things. It seems pointless for me. Like the partner work advance is like, I don't know. But the point is this: it's always been like that, and it always be like that.
Mm,
It never been different. Everybody at all the times, I've been doing this for 20 years now, always skip the level, always want to go to the advance. It's always been like that. It's nothing new. So it's just making sure that, the teachers don't make it so horrible that it becomes out of control.
yeah.
have a
Yeah.
little bit of a leash on the students, just a little bit, and then okay.
But that is the job of the teacher to guide, to shepherd your students. So, that little bit of guidance and
You don't
the
want
right
to
guide.
neglect them, make them feel bad, and leave the classes.
No.
But there is a way to kind of slow down their speed. There is a way
Yes.
to hold just a little bit longer, before you release.
Yeah,
You
and
got
that's a
you got to find that.
yeah, and that's a technique a teacher no doubt has to work on and practice and improve on to benefit the students because the ones in that advanced class and the ones who need to take a step back and don't realize they need that step back, that's where they have a teacher to remind them.
Yes, or at least I have some students that rushed into advanced class when I told them not to.
Mm.
And in the advanced class, they know that God forbid they're gonna do something that the followers will be complaining about, or they're gonna be asking questions that they're not supposed to be asking, or you can see it in their eyes. They're in advanced class like this. They are saying nothing, they are doing everything. Then after the class, they're standing there practicing. And yes, they're not supposed to be there yet, but boy, are they trying.
Mm.
So that I don't mind. Nobody has complained about them yet.
Yep.
They're fine. They're not saying like, oh, he's pulling me and pushing. So clearly they're practicing, afterwards, taking the same girls and making them work hard. And that I don't mind. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, well
Don't
that's
go
respecting the
back
level.
and
So,
demand some sort of like, you know, you have to know that it's a privilege that you're there. Can be kicked out anytime. Yep. That's it.
well they're respecting the level and if you've clearly set those boundaries of here's the expectation for this class, here's what I do and don't want to expect from my students. And if they're respecting that and working really, really hard,
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly. Exactly. So,
That's really good. So when you're at a festival, what are your favorite levels to teach?
oh, what a question. I don't know. I go through phases, right? It depends how much of what you do.
Mhm.
So then you miss one thing or the other. But I do enjoy things like body movement classes where it's just generic. It's not bachata or salsa. I do like a body movement class where it's for all. And we talk
Okay.
about installations and stuff, and we play with the music, and everybody's together, beginners, improvers, advanced, because you don't know what you're gonna get. And then they just practicing little things and moving body, and we're playing different kinds of music, and then we suddenly link it back into bachata, salsa, and kizomba. And it's like it's just so much fun because everybody's together, we're having fun. I can make them do things that they don't think they can do, and those kind of things I really enjoy. I enjoy musicality classes or something that has some sort of point rather
Mm.
than just a generic class. But sometimes it's just a good class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes the stars align and what you thought about that would be good to teach worked exactly right for the crowd that you had. They
Yeah.
participated in your jokes and suddenly, it just all worked out. So it's not necessarily, one or the other,
Mhm.
but I do like class with the thought, like some sort of idea of what it's going to be.
Yeah. That's lovely. Yeah, because in those partner classes, sometimes the way you've planned it won't work with the group you have.
Absolutely.
You've constantly got to adapt with what's in front of you, I'd imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Constantly. But when you're doing it for many years, it's easy.
Yeah, you practice your craft, you get good at it. And you are
Yeah.
very good at
Well, thank you.
it. And speaking of getting really good at all these different kinds of dancing, you were part of Cuban Fury a few years ago, the movie that came out, that had a lot of salsa dancing in it. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience in that?
Sure. I loved it. The whole experience was good.
Hmm.
We were paid, which
Oh,
is nice,
as you
Not
should be.
Well, yes, but sometimes in the movie when they need loads of dancers and some extras or whatever, not everybody gets paid. Only like super duper featured or whatever. But
Mm.
everybody got paid. It was really good. got to meet so many different dancers and people, and it was interesting to see how things work behind the scenes and the outfits they were picking and the makeup and this and that. So it's all very interesting, but there are points that it's very boring. There was
Okay.
hours of just literally standing there in the background, and they're like, now you're gonna have to clap. Ah! And then you again for 2 hours waiting for something. So there are moments when it's like, if this is acting, oh my God. It's like my life is ending as I know it. And as a dancer as well, to stand there and wait, it
Very
is like,
intense.
say what? And you just kind of. But there were moments as well when everybody started moving, even if they're not supposed to, because we're getting like psyched up and worked up or whatever. So in general, it was very fun. It was interesting to see, meeting different people, seeing how things work and stuff. But there's some moments that just a lot of standing around.
Okay. So if we're choosing between festivals and film, we're going to choose festivals.
For me, yes, unless I am the star in the movie.
Yay.
Or
Then we'll
some
make an
sort of,
exception.
some sort of role where it would be worthwhile. And extra, not so much. Not
Mhm.
so.
So, Rasa, your mission that you have out there is to help people to the very best of their dance abilities so that they can enjoy all of the brilliant benefits that dance has to offer. For you, what are those amazing benefits?
There's many. First, the most obvious one that everybody talks about is the mental health, and it's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that every like one in two people will say that dancing helps me to relax, dancing helps me to forget my worries, dancing helped me out of depression, dancing helped me blah 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 blah. So, and it's including me as well. I was depressed when I stopped dancing, and
Mhm.
I was depressed. I mean, clinically depressed. It was a full-on situation. And as soon as I started dancing, it is, I'm not saying that that is enough. For some people, you need more help, but it helps.
Yeah.
It helps for so many reasons. So the other reason why it helps mentally, but then it's other things that it's good for, is because it's music and social environment. It releases endorphins, so it gets us into that high mode. So it actually helps us, makes us feel happy in
Mm.
general. Also, it's a very intense moment because you need to memorize a lot of the stuff. So you can only do that if you focus on that. So you forget everything else that is around you for that period of time when you're dancing. It's just about that thing that you're doing. So
Mm.
you refresh your mind. It's good for your heart. You're doing cardio basically. If you're doing more than once a week, it actually has benefits for your heart. Of course, moving around your body, flexibility. Some movements require you to have certain flexibility. So we do warm-ups before the classes, we do stretches after the classes, or workshops, maybe longer workshops. So there's so many benefits. And the social. So many people in big cities, especially like London, you come here with no family, no friends. What are you gonna do? You go
You,
dancing.
you go dancing. Yes.
You go dancing.
Yeah, I found this when I went to Shanghai last year. What are we going to do to socialize? Let's go dancing, meet some people.
Exactly. We work
Mhm.
really hard to keep the community safe. So, because of that, and people don't drink that much. Even if they do, it's not that much. Because if you start, falling over on a dance floor, you're just going to be escorted to the side. Nobody's going to dance with you.
Mhm.
So, it's a safe environment compared to other places, and everybody's more accepting because everybody comes with their own baggage. So it's kind of like all of the broken souls in one place end up healing each other,
That's both sad and beautiful image at the same
I
time.
know,
Yep.
right? I like it.
Yes.
So it's
Um,
definitely good to dance. I mean, it's not just salsa, bachata, any kind of dance is good, but because salsa and bachata and kizomba has a social element in it, and it's a partner dance where we actually touch each other, I think it's beneficial on other levels as well.
yeah.
But any dancing,
Yeah, it brings in that emotional contact, that physical emotional contact.
yes,
So
interact.
for you, maybe right now, because I reckon it changes a lot, but at the moment, what for you is the biggest joy giver in the dancing space for you?
I always, there was always two things that are the biggest, I think, for me. So, number one has always been social dancing. Social dancing for me brings a lot of joy. I've always loved to social dance. I love to perform, but it is not my thing. Now and then you have a craving, you perform, and then I don't have that craving anymore until. But social dancing, something about dancing with different people, and for me, the challenge of it all, and to make it work no matter what. Like I consider myself, my number one skill is the social dancing. I can dance with anybody at any point and make it work.
Hmm.
Um, and the teaching, of course, but not random teaching. The teaching, the things that I do, especially in my school, the dance with Rasa, because through so many years, I had to learn so many things on my own. Nobody have taught me, especially for lady styling things.
Hmm.
Nobody, when I was starting back in Leeds in UK, there was no lady styling. It was arm here, there. Nobody explained body movement, shift up, nothing. Men usually were teaching all of the classes. There's only few women that I've seen around, and they were not an inspiration necessarily. So it was very, very difficult. And so I had to go through many years of discovering things for myself. So now I know exactly what to give. I'm like, we don't need to waste time any longer. I wasted time for everybody.
Hmm.
So now we can just do exactly the programs. You do this, it will work. You do
Yes.
this, it will work. And let's just get cracking.
You've done
You know?
all that hard research for us.
Exactly. And because I had to learn it myself through my own body, I know exactly how to explain it.
Mm.
Because I
Yeah.
struggled with it the same way. Like it also didn't move. I had to figure it out why and which part. So I can exactly pinpoint which part of what they need to do. So I'm super excited about that. My own
Yes.
like process because I can do that structure and I can see people grow. So that's super nice.
That's beautiful.
That's very cool.
Mm. Yes.
It's very nice because you get to, I don't know, it comes from selfishness in a way. Everything I do comes from selfishness and ends up being for the people. But it's basically, you gather so much knowledge, and when you have it, you really, and you feel like I know a better way. I'm not thinking about that it will benefit them. I'm just thinking I know a better way, and my way is better than that way. Let me tell you. And then, by default, again, it ends up being good for the people, which is great.
Yes.
I just want to share something that I've been building for so many years. And
Yeah.
finally, I feel like I know exactly what to do. Because whilst you're still in a process, you can teach it, but it's still working through you.
It's still a work in progress. Yes.
You know what I mean? So you know a lot, but it's still this. But there comes a moment when you're really comfortable,
Yeah.
and it's almost like you're just breathing through it. So I feel I'm
That's
in that place right now.
wonderful. So are you in that place now where you're like, okay, I'm breathing through it and sharing the knowledge, or are you now thinking, yes, I've mastered these things and it's great, I'm sharing them. What am I gonna work into next?
Well, I never think about that, but it always happens. So now I'm
Mhm.
getting obsessed with Kizomba,
Aha.
urban kids and dulce. I went to this congress by accident. I danced with this person, and I had that dance that you say, like the dance of your life. And I'm like, what is this magic? And I've danced Kizomba many times. I
Yeah.
always enjoyed it. I love the music. I played even though I don't dance it professionally, but in socials, I dabble here and there. I love it. But that was a different dance. That was the dance of like, you need to do this forever. And
Oh,
I got obsessed. Now at night, I sit in bed and I play on the TV the Kizomba videos over and over and over again. And the worst thing is, I don't have any time to do it because I professionally work as salsa bachata teacher.
yes.
where and how am I going to do Kizomba? And there's not a lot of urban kids around me anyway. So now I'm looking at festivals across the globe just to go and train Kizomba.
Oh, and you're gonna fit that in around your busy schedule. I say you're going to because I think you're probably going to.
I am gonna do it, and I'm gonna spend the money. I'm gonna do it. Why? Who knows? For now, it's because I really, really want to. But usually, anything that I really want to do ends up being something later. So
Watch
I'm
this
trying
space.
not to fight. I'm trying not to fight it.
This is it. When something like that, those magic dances happen, it's beautiful. I think I had a bit of a kind of a ceiling in my salsa for a bit, and then a couple of months ago, I had that magic dance where end of that dance, we both just went, "Wow, that was amazing!"
And
And it relit the fire, and it's
carry it for you with months and months. But
yes,
the worst thing is that it's good and it's bad. Like it's good because it ignites you and enlightens you or whatever. But it's bad because you can't get it often.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And the more you know, the worse it is. To get that magic, it becomes extremely difficult.
yeah,
So when I
yeah.
got back to Kizomba, I was like, I know. It's because I don't know Kizomba. I do it socially, but like I don't know anything about it. The scene or whatever, nothing. So I'm like, perfect. That means I'm gonna have many, many good dances.
Yes.
I'm back into beginners. I'm like, yes. I really feel like that moment when you're a beginner and every dance is a magic. I'm
It's
like,
amazing.
I could live that again. I
Yeah.
could have that again through Kizomba. So, Kizomba, watch out.
Watch out,
Rasa
Kizomba, Rasa the Dancer's coming.
is coming. It's nothing like the beginner's ignorance bliss. It's nothing like being a beginner, being ignorant, and having that bliss. I live those days in memories of my beginning like it was the best. I had the best time ever.
Yep.
Hopefully, I will
And it's
really.
happening again now. Oh, I
So
can't.
basically, the message for the people, since this is for the people, yes, the message, people, is the moment will be right. You will find something that will inspire you. The most important thing, if you feel like you're getting stagnant, change it up a little bit, whether even just the style of the dance from crossbody maybe into Cuban, maybe from bachata essentially into Dominican or whatever. But whenever you feel stagnant and something feels like you hit the ceiling, as you say, try to go maybe dance in a completely different night, change the city, maybe make an effort and just go to a different event just to break the pattern and get out of the same and the same and the same. And it takes only that one dance.
Yes. So yeah, you've articulated it perfectly. Just change it up a little bit, change something. Maybe try leading or following or try a different night. There's so
Yes,
much, so many little tweaks you can make that can light it up.
100%.
Mm.
Don't stop dancing. Whatever happens, just don't stop.
And with online spaces like Dance with Rasa, there's no place you can't dance.
That's right. Even from your home.
Yes, literally anywhere. So we've got that going for us as well. Rasa, I think you've brought the fire as well today for us and that magic touch. So thank you very, very much. Um,
My pleasure.
it's been beautiful. And we will see you on the dance floor and on Dance with Rasa.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Empowered Dancers podcast. If there's an aspect of the dancing you would like to hear about, or a particular teacher you would like to hear from, drop me a message and I will try to make it happen. Make sure you subscribe to get every episode as it comes out. Thank you so much for the comments and questions you are already sharing. I really, really appreciate it, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.